Hey everybody, check it out. What's up? It's Hercules Porsche's professional intro. Yay!
For a token now.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Hercules Porsche here, also known as Gildenlock on Xbox Live, and we are looking at a video game called Hand of Fate, and we are looking at the Kraken fight. Now, this fight, I'm going to post some minor spoilers here. In terms of difficulty, it's a little difficult to know where to rate this fight. Obviously, every fight's different based on, how much equipment you have on you, which curses you have, which gear you have, how much health you have going into the fight, etc. So every fight, which fate you picked. So every fight obviously has a different difficulty based on, whatever you go into the fight with. But this fight, we'll say tentatively that this is the second hardest fight in. And I missed my opportunity to get some damage to the boss there. But anyway, we'll tentatively say this is my second hardest fight. We'll say tentatively, yeah. Second hardest fight in Hand of Fate. I won't tell you what the hardest fight is in this video. Just in the off chance, might be some spoilers. I'll probably do a video about that fight later. But there are basically, I'd say there's like about 12 bosses in Hand of Fate. There's the 9 main story bosses. There's this Kraken fight, there's the Minotaur, and then there's, what else is there? And then there's a secret fight. There's a secret 10th fight against someone I won't tell you about. Hey, watch where those tentacles come down, by the way. You can kind of predict them. This time I'm not going to miss my chance to damage the head. And making sure to reflect that shot at me. Actually, probably should have left that guy alive there. But anyway, let's talk about the fight itself. As you can see, I'm hanging out here on the back of the boat. If you've been watching the fight, you've probably noticed... Oh, here's the jack of skills. If you've been watching the fight, you've probably been noticing that the tentacles will electrify random squares at the front of the boat. So keeping at the back of the boat keeps you safe from randomly getting electrocuted, but not from getting hit by the tentacles that come down. Try to spot the gaps in where the tentacle might land. Now, there is one spot at the back of the boat you do want to avoid, and that's the very far back right corner. And I've done this fight so many times, but I actually found out on one of my many times going through this fight that if you end up in that very back right corner and the tentacle comes down, you can get trapped there for a little while, and that's really not something you want to do. But other than that very far back right spot, you pretty much just want to hang out at the back of the boat. You don't need to do what I'm doing here, which is killing a lot of lizard men. I didn't actually realize, I didn't know the ins and outs of this fight, so I didn't actually know that killing the lizard men was pretty much unnecessary. But I was just doing it because I didn't have a full handle on how to advance the fight. But here's how you do it. Now, of course, you've seen these tentacles come down. They give you an opportunity to damage them. I just used in my artifact there, by the way. I was a little sloppy. It took a lot of damage. I used a very helpful artifact going into this fight, which is the Time Heals artifact. Luckily, I went in this fight with full health. And I was able to heal up with that Time Heals artifact. So that's a handy artifact to have. There's a lot of other good artifacts to take in this fight. Any kind of ice artifact, the feathered ice would be good because you could just freeze these lizard men so you don't have to deal with them. There would also, I think there's one, I forget what it's called. There's one that makes you attack faster. And that would be a very handy artifact as well. Sorry, I forgot the name of that. A really good blessing to have going into this fight would be Lizard Eater. You could then intentionally fight the Lizard Man and get a ton of food as a result. As you can see, I only had to do a couple hits after that first mana hit, so you do not have to do a bunch of consecutive hits on the head whenever it's out. It is possible to get the head down a phase in... Oh, and you can see here's the King of Scales. So, he will pop out on the third phase if there are no lizards already on the field. So that's why it can actually be handy to not fight the lizards too much, because it can just keep more enemies from popping out. That his lizard he has with him is invulnerable because that's one of the King of Scales perks, is that he makes the other lizards invincible. Now I should have gone for that head there, but I decided to just stick it out, try to bait him into the head, but didn't manage that. This damage is almost pointless because that guy won't die until the King of Scales is dead. The King of Scales is probably the most problematic lizard to have on the field because he has that little shield move where he fires off a bunch of spine shots, and it's a little more difficult to avoid than the other things, especially if you're like in a spot like this where you might get trapped around where I got this King of Skills down there pretty quick. That was lucky. But yeah, you could get trapped by a tentacle, and then his spine shots might just hit you. So you want to keep him under control, keep him off the field if possible. And there we go. That's the Kraken fight. It's pretty simple. It's just hit those tentacles, try to avoid taking any damage, hit those tentacles when they come down, and then hit the head when it comes down. It's really just those three main things. Avoid damage, hit tentacles, hit the head. That's all you really need to know, and I've actually done that fight losing less than 20 health after I knew the ins and outs of it. This fight is especially helpful on endless mode. You're about to see why. It's not as helpful in the story mode, although that Kraken mask is always a great thing to have. As it's about to pop up here, it is absolutely the best combat helmet in the game, bar none. It might not be the best for endless mode. I think that goes to the Plunder's helm, but it's still one of the best helms in the game and the best combat helm. So this is definitely something you want to get hold of, and can only be done after beating the Kraken fight. There's no way to just pick up that helm. Use that helm to full effect by letting whichever boss you want dead hit you at the start of the fight. So that's how you get that helm, and the main advantage to beating the Kraken fight isn't even the helm. It's actually a ghost card called Ghost of the Sea, which if you have it locked, it curses you, but if you have it unlocked, it can give you a huge variety of advantages. Anyway, if you guys want to hear more about the Ghost of the Sea card, leave a comment below and I'll fill you in on it. And until next time, I shall see you Starside.
Roaming ever forward.
This man is like a Baptist.